She contacted me on Facebook, and she connected me with the West Virginia ACLU and helped me state my case and help support my students. And I just know that she will serve us well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a second for Aaron's nomination? Oh, Ken Collins, second. Okay. Are there further nominations? Thank you, Mr. Barty. We move to close the nominations, and the secretary, I'm used to saying secretary will take a roll. Clerk's in the house.
The second was over here. Thank you. Bear with me because we've had to insert different names in different spots, so I think we're good. All right, Danielle Walker. Christina. Sam Petzong.
Christina. Question. Did Christina have an opportunity to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't know she was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been a long day.
He wanted that coffee.
Straight for the coffee, and I apologize to both of the nominees for associate treasurer. Each have associate secretary. Thank you. And each have 4 minutes to speak. Is Aaron on Zoom?
Erin is not even joined. She is at West Virginia South.
Oh, okay. Christina?
So I am Christina Baisden, and I know some of you, and some of you don't look like your Facebook profile pictures. I haven't had the privilege of meeting some of you in person because of the pandemic, so I'm really excited to get to know every single one of you, however this election goes today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a community organizer. I'm an LGBTQIA+ advocate and a staunch human rights activist. I have been involved in many grassroots community transformation efforts, and I bring those skills, networks, and experiences with me. I was boots on the ground for the Crown Ordinance that was passed in Beckley, and also boots on the ground for our non-discrimination ordinance, which passed in January 2019. I have a passion for activism and a fire that burns in my belly for people, because I love and care for people. I'm also the founder and president of Beckley Pride, which has not been an easy task in southern West Virginia. We host accepting and inclusive events and make sure that everyone is welcome. We have over 4,000 attendees annually with 70 vendors, and we give out free meals and clothes to anyone that attends. My latest endeavor was just yesterday with a march with our voices in Hinton, because we have discrimination happening in our community against gay business owners and gender diverse people here in West Virginia. And I'm tired, and I wanted to bring awareness to that issue. I am not one to sit in a seat. I am not one to let things slide by. I am a fighter, and I always will be. Where discrimination and oppression is happening, I cannot be quiet, and I refuse to be quiet. I grew up as a military brat, mostly in Baltimore, Maryland, but I moved back here 7 years ago to reconnect with my family roots, which can be traced back hundreds of years. Most people know my long-term partner and fiance, Danielle Stewart. And I've been a Democrat most of my life. And although the Democratic Party has not always reflected my beliefs in practice, I have always supported the party in policy and platform. The Democratic Party has evolved into a more inclusive and open party, and I'm here for it. I want to be a part of the growth and evolution because Democrats are held to a high standard. And if we are falling short, we need to rise to the occasion. And I will rise to that occasion. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will, the secretary will call the roll and ask for the vote.
I'll wait for my backup here. Okay, we're going to start over again. Danielle Walker. Christina Basin. Sam Tenson.
Christina.
Krista Lucas. Christina Basin. Denny Longwell.
Christina Basin.
Elaine Harris.
Basin.
Pat Maroney. Danielle Stewart.
Christina Basin.
Chris Pennington.
Basin.
Red Greer.
Christina.
Shane Ossenzandi.
Christina Basin.
Jenny Craig.
Christina Basin.
Susan Hubbard. Jerry Brookover.
Basin.
Cameron Miller. Lee Coombs. Selena Vickers.
Christina Basin.
James Griffin.
Proxy, Basin.
Thank you. Ariana Islam.
Basin.
XK Vega.
By proxy, Christina Basin.
Josiah Sorrent.
Christina Basin.
Wilma Steele. Ray Whiting.
Basin.
Anna Gillespie.
I can hear you. Now I can, but I haven't been able to hear anyone for the last 10 minutes.
So is she voting? Are you voting? It's for Associate Secretary? I'm sorry?
Anna Gillespie, Christina Beiston,
Thank you. Laura Walker? Troy Miller?
Staying.
Gabe Pena?
Christina Basin by proxy.
Cindy Lavender Bowe? Doug Scaff?
Basin.
Natalie Klein?
Christina Beiston,
Kathy Link? Charles Ehlenfeld?
Christina Basin.
Michael Traubert?
Aaron Lehman,
Thank you. Jennifer Beach?
Christina Basin.
Tim Frum?
Basin.
Ronald McCoy?
Christina Basin.
Sunny Oakland?
Christina Basin.
Listen. Judith Stevens?
Christina Beiston,
Simon Harkness?
Christina Basin.
Bonnie Fruth? Tess Jackson?
Basin.
Ben Barkey? Floyd Sayre? Stephanie Heck? Tammy Pritt? She's gone now. Sorry, I forgot that. Matt Spurlock? Deb McCarthy?
Christina Basin.
Phyllis White?
Christina Basin.
Robert Offset?
Christina Basin.
Marcus Wilkes?
Christina Basin.
Mary Ann Clater?
Aaron,
Aaron Raymond, thank you. Heather Hayes?
Christina Basin,
Aaron Williamson? Amanda Eastep Burton?
Christina Basin,
Amanda Shelton?
Basin.
Keith Lottie? Christy Cardwell? Basin. Kelly Elkins?
Basin.
Bob Baker?
Christina Basin.
David Thompson?
Basin by proxy.
Diane Browning?
Basin.
Margaret Staggers?
Basin.
Jamie Spencer?
Basin.
Rachel Tompkins?
Basin.
Brenda Weiss?
Basin.
Adam Starks?
Basin.
Cody Thompson?
Basin.
Michelle Carpenter?
Basin.
Susan Miley?
Christina.
Ryan Deans?
Basin.
Okay. Joey Garcia?
Christina Basin.
Mark Music? Deanna Armentrout?
Basin.
Candy Sisler?
Basin.
Jason Armentrout?
Christina Basin.
Randy Titchnell?
Basin.
Dorothy Kingla,
Basin.
Virginia Sign,
Aaron Lehman. Aaron Lehman.
thank you. Richard Rector. Charlie Streisel.
Basin.
Cheryl Lawrence. Maria Russo. Ken Collinson.
Aaron Lehman.
Matt Halterman.
Christina Basin.
Bonnie Brown.
Basin.
Patty Hamilton. Richie Raw. And David Tucker.
Did you call Tim Bias?
Sorry, who?
Tim Bias.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I did not. Sometimes it's the way,
Sorry, I just want to make sure I didn't get missed.
that's all you have to do is, here we go. I think it's when we were waiting for Tammy and Chris, and then I might have skipped over you. So Tim Bias,
Christina Basin.
Okay. For, okay, and our election for Associate Secretary, Christina Baisden with 74 votes, Aaron Lehman with 8, 2 abstentions. Christina Baisden, our next Associate Secretary. Thank you. And now we will entertain nominations for the treasurer.
I'll nominate Dick Casey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joey Garcia. I'm a member of the House of Delegates up in Marion County. And I've been very excited to see all the new leadership and the people that we have here today with one goal, which is to win, which is to get Democrats elected to every office from municipal to statewide. And I'm very honored to nominate my friend Nick Casey. Actually, Nick at one point was my boss. I still refer to him as chief. But Nick has a storied career in being a former chairman of the party, being a congressional candidate, being somebody who's raised money for Democrats up and down the ballot. And that is one of the things that is most vital. We like to think that it's always a battle of just ideas. and that our ideas will win if we work hard enough. And I believe that they can. But in order to make that happen, we need a team of people, this team that's been built today, to have somebody there who, in reality, I was going to say he's probably forgotten more people than I've ever known, but he remembers them. He remembers the things that are important about them. And that's going to be something that is very critical when we try to take the different parts of our party. I won't necessarily call them factions, but different people with different values in different parts of the state and bring them together. Because Nick Casey is somebody I trust. Nick Casey is somebody who has done work and shown up for a lot of different people, again, including myself as a candidate. And we have to win. So with that, I nominate my friend Nick Casey to be treasurer of the Democratic Party of West Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Garcia.
I'll second.
Actually,
I will second.
Shane Asazani seconded the nomination. You want to say something?
Got my belt today, so that's why you see me doing this. That's why I packed in a hurry. Well, the last couple rounds have been kind of quiet, so I bet some of y'all are like, what's going on here? So, I second the nomination for Nick Casey, simply because I think Nick brings a lot to a table, and Joey Garcia listed, his accomplishments as a CPA, an attorney, a former party chair, and a congressional candidate. There's nothing I can add because Joey's worked with him for years, and he and I have not known each other that long, but I will say that I spoke to him prior to making this nomination, and I asked him, I said, there are three things I have in mind. I said, will you commit to being transparent? Will you commit to providing this committee with regular itemized reports? And will you commit to publicly supporting an independent audit for the previous 4 years so that the new treasurer can begin with a clean slate and a full understanding of the financials? And he did say yes to that. So I second the nomination.
Further nominations?
Yes, I'm Thornton Cooper, proxy for Richie Robb, nominating Richie Robb to be treasurer of the State Democratic Party.
Do you want to, well, are you speaking for the nomination, or are you going to be speaking for the candidate, for the nominee?
Which I can do either one. I mean, he obviously can't be here.
Is there a second to the nomination?
Selena Vickers, I second the nomination for Richie Robb for treasurer.
Thornton, would you like to speak for Mr. Robb?
My name's Thornton Cooper. Some of y'all know me, and more people know Richie Robb than know me. But Richie and I've known each other for 50 years. He currently has long COVID, and that's why he is not here. That's why I'm his proxy. A few things y'all know about Richie Robb. He attended South Charleston High School. He played football for Marshall University and graduated there. He went to Vietnam and earned a Bronze Star. He was elected the clerk of South Charleston in 1971. Then took off from that, had graduate school in California, came back and was elected mayor of South Charleston 8 times in a row, 32 years. And if you think a person who has been presiding over a municipality with a multi-million-dollar budget for 32 years is not capable of being treasurer, I would say there are very few people who are more qualified to be treasurer. Richie was a Republican until his his 8th 4-year term, and was organizing veterans against war in Iraq. And I read in the paper he switched parties. And I said, Richie, if you left the Republican Party, he said, no, Thornton, the Republican Party has left me. And since then, Richie has been an ardent Democrat. He's run for Senate, he's run for Congress, he's run for mayor, he's run for many things. And he has an incredible amount of energy for a person his age. And one of the most recent things he's doing was coaching a track team at Westside Middle School. But nevertheless, because of long-term COVID, he's not able to be here, and therefore, I just wanted to explain something about him. I believe he sent a typewritten or emailed message. I haven't seen it myself because we've gone different directions, but I want you to know that he would certainly be qualified. You will not find a person more independent than Richie Robb, and I commend his nomination. Thank you.
Someone's going to go for 1 minute seconding speech, correct?
Hello, my name is Selena Vickers, and I'm seconding this nomination for Richie Robb. I want to be very clear, I really had not intended to get involved with this race. However, there were circumstances that led to me and Shane, who work very, very closely together, doing different nominating speeches. I really don't know Mr. Robb very well, I'll be honest with that. For those, and I really don't want, I want us moving forward, not focusing on the past. However, this particular vote, I think, is significant. Over the last several years, most of you know that I have done an enormous amount of work focusing on reforming the party through holding people accountable and the party accountable to rules. I filed several challenges that the State Executive Committee had the opportunity, give me a few minutes, or a few seconds. When these challenges went before the State Executive Committee, the State Executive Committee could either uphold those challenges or they could dismiss them. And Mr. Robb, who did not know me at all, read through all of the evidence, and without knowing me, he supported what, in my opinion, was right, and he supported the rules over politics. Rules over politics, which creates a fair playing field for everybody. Mr. Robb was one of 3 people on a 100-member State Executive Committee who did the right thing. So, my support is for Rich Robb, based on the fact that he will follow the rules and over politics. Thank you.
Nick gets 4 minutes.
Hey, I'm Nick Casey. I used to lead every cheer. It's a great day to be a Democrat in Harrison County. It's a great day to be a Democrat in West Virginia. And we can bring all this back. But let me talk about treasurer. That's my pump speech. The treasurer gets 2 lines in the bylaws and 3 duties: receipt, disperse, and report. Receipt money, disperse money, report money. I'm a CPA. I'm a 40-year attorney. I sit as a treasurer of the American Bar Association of some 400,000 people. I have sat on the audit committee of publicly traded companies, banks, all of which are federally regulated, all of which I tell you for one reason. Financial information from a treasurer is about transparency. It's about reporting. And I talked with Shane, and Shane, I greatly appreciate the second. Joey, thank you very, very much for the first. And here's the way you see it. When you have just good business practices, good CPA practices, when a new person steps in, you audit the old person, so you have the baseline. Shane said, "Could I agree to that?" Of course, that's what you do. Nothing to agree to. So that was quite easy. The other was, do you do regular reports? I'm a CPA. Do you want them monthly? Do you want them quarterly? Do you want them annually? But I'll say you do it every meeting. But that information is so easily available on that. There's very little issue about my competency to be the treasurer and to do it correctly. It's not a policy position. I regret that somebody holds a vote made against you, and somehow that becomes the acid test of whether or not you're capable to be the treasurer of this organization. If that means something to folks, so be it. But let me tell you why I'm passionate about being treasurer. It's hard to put passion in a treasurer's race, isn't it? When I became chair, we had the majority. You know, we didn't have any money. I personally went to the bank and signed my personal credit up so that the party could get funds from the bank to operate, okay? I'll tell you another financial passion I had. When Don Blankenship tried to flip this state, because we had a majority in the legislature, I personally went around the state for 6 weeks and did all I could to beat him. We beat him. He sued me. 3 years later, and all the legal fees after that, I won. I didn't get my fees back, but I won. That's financial passion. I raised for one candidate over $2 million to run for Congress. That candidate was me. I raised $2 million, not counting other candidates I raised money for. I raised $2 million for me. And I will now apologize to you. Out of 153,000 votes, I was 4,100 votes short, and you've got Mooney, not me. I know. It's just, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. But echoing back to what we heard a little earlier is, competency has a word to it called cash. I can account for the cash. That's the 3 duties: receipt, disperse, account, report. Let me give you a 4th duty. You can't run a party under a tree. You've got to be able to raise funds. I've chatted with Mike, our new chair, and other people in this room know me because I've helped them raise some money. One thing I have some competency at is finding money and raising money. Can we raise as much as we used to? No, because we're out of power. But are there people out there that will help us? If God bless the $5 donor, because they're going to vote for you. God bless the $5,000 too. They're going to vote for you, and they give you resources to get more voters to vote for you. So here's my 4th duty that I will tell you I will fulfill. I'll raise money for the party. I'll help the candidates be found, be elected, and turn it all over so we can, I really want to show John Blankenship. In my last job, I give you passion. My last job, I was the Democratic Chief of Staff for the current governor of the state of West Virginia. And he fired me because why? Because I'm a Democrat. Make me treasurer. I got some paybacks in other places.
I entertain a motion to close the nominations. You want to second again?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Casey, for stepping up and running for this position. Thank you to the other candidate as well. Treasurer is actually not a very easy job and certainly not very fun. I have a math disability. You really don't want me anywhere near numbers, nor would I offer. I was going to save these remarks for, a personal point of privilege at closing, but here's why I'm seconding the nomination. I look at this room and I see not only the people who taught me everything I know, people I want to get to know, and people I want to work with. And if we're the party of people, I wanted us to be for these people in this room too. And I hope that each of us can learn to see a person for a person. We're each our own selves, we make our own decisions, but there's no reason why that means we can't move forward together as a party. Please.